Okay, hello. This is Amanda Hubble, and this is my assignment for EDUC 407 at Laverne University. Well, what is this? Winter of 2019. The assignment that I'm going to present today is a flipped classroom assignment, so we'll get into it. Today we're going to be talking about Theater of the Oppressed and Augusto Boal. Okay, so the first thing that I want to go over with you guys are the state standards that we're going to address here, right? So we have a theater history standard right here. So we're understanding theatrical history, various cultures and time periods. We're going to create some theater. We're going to create our own Theater of the Oppressed scene. Artistic perception, we're going to discuss each other's scenes. Okay, so let's get into it. First, we're going to give a little background about this. Okay, so this is Augusto Boal. He was born in 1931 and he passed away not 10 years ago, so not too long ago. He was born in Brazil, and they were in huge economic trouble. And I think a lot of us know about how colonialism came into South America and has really ravaged their economies and their government systems. So he came into Brazil at a time where there was a lot of strife. And he wanted to inspire the masses, right? He wanted to bring people together, and he thought that he could do that through theater. So he started backing this program through a theater down there that was sponsoring local playwrights. So he wanted local people to be writing about things that mattered to them in their community. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were afraid of that. So there's a military coup in Brazil. So the military came in and they kicked out the current government, and the military started running the country. And they didn't like the things that Augusto Boal was doing, so they exiled him. He had to leave Brazil. So he moved to Argentina, and he was in Argentina for 5 years, and he workshops Theater of the Oppressed, which is a very specific type of theater and style of theater. And look at him as a young man, so handsome. Okay, move on. So, Theater of the Oppressed. So, Theater of the Oppressed is meant for anyone who does not feel represented. So, anyone who is not a part of the group who is currently in power, that's who Theater of the Oppressed is for. Okay, and we're going to look at a specific group later who has their own theater troupe. So, how do we use this technique to address any social problems we see in our community? Okay, and there's this lovely quote from Augusto Boal about what he feels about theater and why he developed Theater of the Oppressed. Theater is a form of knowledge. It should and can also be a means of transforming society. Theater can help us build our future rather than just waiting for it. Okay, so let's move on. And I just want you guys to think about that, because a lot of the time when we talk about more Eurocentric theater, American theater, we talk a lot about musical theater and playwrights talking about what's important to the day and what's topical. But what he wants to do is have real life change in the moment. He wants real people to be working through their problems instead of watching actors do it on stage for them. Okay, so we're going to talk about some vocab for this lesson, just so we all are on the same page, okay? So the word oppressed, any group who's not part of the group who's in power. Troupe or company, that's the group of people who produce, write, act, and they create their scenes and their plays. Spec actor is a term that is specific to Theater of the Oppressed and for this section. So it's an audience member who comes to see the show, but then they're asked to participate in the show. Okay. And then there's a moderator, and a moderator is the person who makes sure that everything's going well between the spec actors and the original performers. Okay, and I also think it's important that we go over what CROW stands for, which is character, relationship, objective, and where. And if you guys need a little brush up on that, there is a PowerPoint, there is a video that we can refer back to. And then a planned improv, which we would have done in class earlier. So a planned improv is an improv scene that you guys discuss about what your goal is for that scene, okay? And that's something that they do in Theater of the Oppressed. Okay. So this is a video on YouTube that we're going to watch all together. But basically what happens in the video, I'm just going to play it. No, I'm not. Never mind. Basically, what happens in the video is the actors. Oh, okay. Play. So basically, this is a troupe of actors who got together. It is the Jan Hus Homeless Theater Group. So it is a group of people who are homeless or who have experienced homelessness in their lives, and they are performing for their audience. Okay, so first, what this woman is doing is she's warming up the crowd and she's making sure everybody understands what they're doing. Okay, we're going to watch this video in class, so I'm just going to skip through it. Okay, so they're all talking together, right? And then they perform their scene that they've been working on. And in this scene, he's trying to get custody of his daughter, and the judge, who is this man right here, feels that he's not doing the right things, and he doesn't grant him custody of his daughter, right? So after that scene, they ask the audience to workshop, think about what they might have done, what somebody else might have done, and then they are asked to go on stage. See, this is a spec actor, so she's someone who came to see the show that day, and now she is interjecting her own thoughts about what she would have done. So she's performing in the scene, and this guy is also doing that, so he's taking the lead character spot also. Okay. And what he decides to do, what his solution is that if he had been in that situation, he would have gone and gotten recommendation letters from people from his community who are upstanding members of the community. So he said he joined a church and he's a part of the church and he volunteers there. He got letters of recommendation from his social worker and from his bosses, things like that. So, and then they discuss at the end, right? So this woman who's the moderator, she helps the audience discuss how they came to those conclusions and which of those conclusions might work best for them in that situation. Okay? So we're going to watch that video in class. We're going to watch the whole thing. It's only 5 minutes. If you guys want to watch it, I will have posted this in our Google Classroom so you can go and look at it. Okay? So what are we doing in our class with this? So we are going to create our own scene in groups. I'm going to give you your groups tomorrow. So you're going to get into your groups and discuss what you see in your classroom community, your school community, local community. Okay, something that you as an individual could solve. And I gave you guys some examples, right? So I know on our campus, inclusion of special needs students is a really big part of our campus community, and maybe you can incorporate something specific you've seen in your classroom, right? So maybe a special needs student is not being incorporated as well into your classroom groups as well as they could be. Okay, and so you can create a scene where we see that happen. So you're going to create a short planned improv scene that we've done before. About how that happened and what happened. And I'll give you a scene planning worksheet there. Then you're going to perform your scene in front of the class. Then I will operate as the moderator, and your classmates are going to participate in your scenes. And we are going to have our own Theater of the Oppressed right in the classroom. Okay, and we're going to start work on that in class. So if you want to know more, there is a crash course theater video, which is really great and gives you a lot of really great information. It is called Poor Unfortunate Theater. So there's this particular episode is about two types of theater. There's poor theater, and then there's Theater of the Oppressed. as I said here, the Augustus Bowl Theater of the Press section starts around 8:35. But if you want to watch Poor Theater, that section, you can. It's very interesting, and they have a lot of the same theories about what theater is supposed to be used for, and that it's supposed to be used for social change on the ground level. Okay, so I will see you guys in class, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.